Love this podcast? Support us by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Hit the link in the episode description to support us now. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived and lives on, indeed, in our
I
hearts.
thought you were going to finish the line because I love that line. Come to die.
Oh, no, I was actually doing Dumbledore. I wasn't doing Voldemort.
Oh, are you serious?
Old man Dumbledore.
I was doing, like, the Richard Harris Dumbledore, not Michael Gambon Dumbledore.
I wouldn't be able to tell you which
So-
one is which. I know them visually.
Well, yeah, but
I
well,
don't know
yeah.
the actor name, which is which.
Okay, so first two Dumbledores. How about that?
I thought there were only 2 Dumbledores.
Yeah, well, the first 2 movies I meant when I said the first twos. Yeah.
Unless you were counting Jude Law.
But that should be a clue as to what we're talking about today. We are going back in time and we're returning to Hogwarts for a very special episode where we're going to tackle the Harry Potter reunion and share our thoughts on the Harry Potter film franchise, which I know Rolando is just bursting to chat about.
I mean, I'm the one who pitched this episode.
He is.
But
He is.
Spoiler alert, guys, I'm actually a very fair weather fan of Harry Potter. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast before, but like, yeah. I wasn't like a diehard fan of the movies. I never read the books.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think I know you to be a diehard fan of anything other than Gossip Girl and Britney Spears.
I'm not even a diehard fan of Gossip Girl. Like, I'm sure there are people who are more knowledgeable in that. And same thing with Britney Spears than I am.
Wow. So you're not a diehard fan of anything. Are you a fan?
I'm sure I have my random like fandom in there of something, but there's
Are you
always.
a fan of Die Hard?
I like the movies. I guess.
All right. Anyway, I'm Nicole,
And I'm Rolando,
and this is Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals
an original podcast
about
on
unoriginality. So welcome back to another episode of Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals. But before we continue on with our Harry Potter reunion special, Rolando and I would just like to remind you that if you are following us on Apple Podcasts, to please go on, rate this podcast, and leave us a review. We've actually gotten a couple of new reviews recently, which we would love to share with you guys because we just appreciate every time we get a new one. Rolando, would you like to read one?
Yes. So I'm going to read the one that we just got from Barbara Ann C. Thank you, Barbara. Here is her review. Highly recommend. Great insights. 5 stars. If you are a fan of TV and movies like I am, then you will find this podcast not only entertaining, but interesting and informative. Hollywood has blown up with remakes, reboots, and revivals in recent years, and this podcast takes this subject on with refreshing and fun insights.
Not only do they give their opinions, but they provide a wealth of knowledge on these subjects. So many fun facts I never knew. It's great to listen while driving, taking a walk, or just relaxing at home. Definitely give it a listen. And like Rolando said, thank you so much, Barbara, for that review. If you, like Barbara, enjoy this podcast, then please let us know and we will read your review on the air because we so appreciate our listeners and we want to let you guys know that. So, all right, let's get back to it. Rolando, and of course, we are always joined by Eddie Z.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, Eddie. Okay, so, let's just get right into the Harry Potterness of it all. And by the way, we're on a Zoom call and you guys can't see the beautifulness that is happening, but Eddie Z has his wand out.
Oh, I have a wand too.
You have a wand too?
I have a wand, yeah.
Darn it.
Do you
And
have a wand?
I've been to Ollivanders and I didn't get a wond.
I don't. What's that?
That's where you get your wand from.
Wands.
In Harry Potter
store.
World?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Diagon Alley.
Oh,
That's the famous wand shop in the
okay.
series.
See, this is how much I don't know the names. I know them visual. I can tell you like what part of the movie those are from, but
Oh my gosh, is it Diagon Alley or is it Hogsmeade? It's Diagon Alley, right? That Ollivanders is in?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. I thought I was losing it for a second. Even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, though, I think everyone's got sorted by the Pottermore website. So out of curiosity, did you guys do the Pottermore quiz and find out what house you've been sorted into?
so I actually did the Pottermore quiz with you. I think it was like after. I think we were at one of your shows, like an art show, and then we went to get food afterwards, and you asked me, and I had no idea
Yeah.
I
No,
could do
it's
that.
a major criteria for me. If you want to be my friend, I need to know your Harry Potter
Yeah.
house.
So I took the quiz, and it turns out I am a Hufflepuff.
Wow.
And
I would never have guessed that.
oh well, I took the get test in front of you, so and there's no going back. I tried.
No, yeah. Hey, you got officially sorted. So, and Hermione was supposed, like, you look at her and it's like, oh, you're in Ravenclaw, but she got sorted into Gryffindor. So always trust the sorting hat.
Okay.
Eddie,
Okay.
Or Ravenclaw.
I'm Ravenclaw too. Oh my gosh, we're house buddies.
So the three of us are in not the important houses.
Yeah, we're not
what do you mean?
Gryffindor or Slytherin, even though I think that Gryffindor and Slytherin are incredibly overrated.
I don't know. Slytherin seems pretty cool. You get to talk to snakes.
Yeah, I thought you were Slytherin. That's why I'm kind of shocked you're Hufflepuff. Because
I'm not rich, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're not. I was about to say you're not cunning, but are you cunning?
I don't know. Define
Are you-
cunning.
Are you ambitious?
Yes.
Are
Do
you
I have follow
bold?
through? Not necessarily though.
Are you ready to cut a bitch that gets in your way?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. If there's hesitation, then you're not Slytherin, I feel.
Oh,
like.
right. Well, my hesitation comes more like, foresight, right? It's just like, is this bitch worth cutting and getting in trouble for? You know what I mean?
Wow. Mhm, yeah.
You gotta take calculated risks.
See, me and Eddie were Ravenclaw because we don't care about any of that. We care about creativity and we care about knowledge and fun stuff and dreams and all that stuff. So
Oh, that's so funny, Eddie, because all your Dungeons and Dragons characters are obsessed with going to libraries.
Yeah.
Mhm,
true.
there you
So,
go.
look at that.
It's
Okay.
true.
And you love libraries, Nicole.
I do.
Look at that.
It sounds like a joke, but it's true.
Like my favorite thing is like getting a library card at every area that I end up in.
Me too.
Despite
I
the fact
have
that it's-
4 library cards.
Oh, are you allowed to have that many library cards?
Yeah, they're free. Why not?
I don't know. Like, okay.
The government puts a cap on how many library cards you can have.
Yeah, they hunt you down.
No. So do we want to talk about some things that we've been, watching or reading or playing, into this past week before we get into Harry Potter?
Yeah, sure. So I actually just recently saw In the City of Life and Death. It's a Chinese movie. Yeah, it's a Chinese film. And so dark, so depressing, so sad. It's about the rape of Nanking, which is an event that I didn't know about during World War II. It's kind of told about like the pillaging and like the literal raping that Japanese soldiers did on the then capital of China when they invaded. So it is a heavy film to watch. I recommend it, but I also don't recommend it, right? Like, I think it's worth to watch if you're into films. Like, it's very cinematic. It's a beautiful movie, but it's so heavy. Like, I had to take breaks while watching it. It's that heavy.
Wow.
It might be easily one of the darkest war movies I've ever seen.
Jeez, yeah, that sounds like a total bummer.
Yeah.
But I'm sure an absolute must-see movie, actually, in terms of
Gorgeous. Absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go. That's the shit that way to put me out of my funk, right?
Yeah, Eddie, do you have anything more joyous to share?
So I finished The Golem and the Genie.
Hooray.
Yay.
Yeah, very happy
Can't wait to chat.
with that book choice, and excited actually to get the sequel, which I found out with. Thank God that you told me.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel to it, which is called The Hidden Palace,
Yes.
and I'm actually looking forward to reading that. That looks like it's gonna start highlighting the supporting characters of the first book. Which I loved.
Ooh.
So-
Yeah, I think
which
we're
actually was
gonna
my
follow Sophia.
which was like gonna be my complaint if this book didn't have a sequel. It's like, wow, there was like supporting characters that I was really interested to like get to know more about.
Yeah,
But this book actually seems to do that. So
That
absolutely.
was a big book too. I saw it. It was just like
Yeah, I think it's the biggest book Eddie and I have read for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
book
we
club
read-
that we have. with other people, and it was though absolutely worth it. So it was great. It was a great choice.
Yeah, I recommend it, and I am happy I finally read it too.
Yeah,
Because it's been on my book list for quite some time. Like,
happy
And-
to have checked that off with you.
Nicole, what about you?
Well, I actually just wanted to share that there is a podcast called the Partially Examined Life Philosophy Podcast. And they had me as a guest star on their West Side Story episode for the Pretty Much Pop series that they do. So it will be, as of the week that this is released, you will also be able to find that. So if you type into your podcast browser, either Pretty Much Pop or the Partially Examined Life, you will see me pop up for their West Side Story episode. And I was a guest star along with Broadway actor and just actor William Humans and actor
Ooh,
and
that's
critic
cool.
and author Ron Fassler. And it was just it was a total blast. And if you've listened to our West Side Story episode, you pretty much know what I say. But still, it was really great.
Be sure to check out that episode.
Yeah. And one last thing I want to share is that Peter Bogdanovich recently died. And there's a film of his that he did in 1975 called At Long Lost Love, which is considered to be one of the worst films. If you literally go to Wikipedia and you type in the worst films ever made, At Long Last Love will come on. And I think that this is a complete injustice because it is a very competent and lovely film. And the only reason that people hate it, it's because it's a musical with Burt Reynolds. I encourage any listener who is open to this film and open to going against the grain and watching something that is labeled as a bad film and realizing that these labels are totally unjust and that we should make our own opinion, for you to watch what you can on YouTube, At Long Last Love. It's just utterly delightful. And I can't believe that it's like Wikipedia has it under the worst films ever made. It's terrible.
Wikipedia is open source.
Yeah. Well, it's because it was one of the biggest flops ever.
Okay.
It like nobody went to go see it, and it got such negative backlash in 1975 that Peter Bogdanovich had to apologize. He wrote like an ad, and he took out an ad in a newspaper apologizing for the film. And you watch the film, and you're like, "This is nowhere near the worst film ever made. Nowhere near it." So, just wanted to highlight that and maybe encourage some people to either Google or YouTube At Long Last Love and watch it and be like, "This looks cute."
Okay.
So, yeah.
Burt
Anyway.
Reynolds singing. I don't know.
He's actually not that bad. He's
All
not. I actually really like Burt Reynolds. I think he is an underrated actor. You know, he's a movie star, of course, but he actually had acting chops. But nobody was open to it. They just wanted him to be Burt Reynolds, you know.
Right. I mean, that happens to
That does happen, you know.
actors,
So,
right?
yeah, it's not so much their fault sometimes as it is our fault. So,
Yeah. Do you know who broke out of that?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I was going to say Daniel Radcliffe to segue into our topic because
Oh, yeah, I
he-
forgot. We were talking about Harry Potter.
because he really, as soon as he was done with the Harry Potter franchise, he was trying to find any and every role to like kind of get out of that Harry Potter limelight.
Yeah.
Or not even the limelight. I don't want to say he was never dismissive of his work. It's more he just didn't want to just be known for that.
Well, who can blame him?
Yeah, I mean, I
And
get it, but
He did do a fantastic job. Now, I have to ask, did anyone watch the Harry Potter films as they came out in theaters from 2001 to 2011?
I did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah? Did you guys see all of them?
I saw all of them, and
Yeah.
I was usually the first one, like the first weekend that it came out, and yeah. I remember I've even one like sneaking out of where I was living, and knowing that I would get in trouble if I got caught. But me and a friend, we snuck out to see, I think it was the third film. Like we had like a 12:30 showing in the middle of the night. It was like in the middle of the night. And we like
naughty.
yeah, it was very good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was. So my dad, I think after the first one, he would take us to the midnight showings of the Harry Potter ones. So those would be long nights. If we didn't make it to the midnight showing, we would go to at least a Friday night or like definitely Friday. I don't think we ever saw like on a Saturday or Sunday. It was either Thursday night or Friday nights.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. My dad loved the Harry Potter movies. And after the first 1, he started reading the books and stuff, and he loved it. Tried to get B into, and I was just like, and I read the first 2 chapters, and I was just like, nah, this is not for me.
Wow. Even as a child, you were just like, meh.
not this book. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty late to Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would never have known that. I assumed that you were just like there from the get-go.
Yeah, no, I was late to the party. I was just, by the time it was 2001 when the first film came out, I was really getting into older movies, and also it was just like, it was like a lot of family stuff, so I wasn't like, I guess, into kid things. I kind of like aged backwards in that way, where when I got older, I started being more open to the things that I wasn't when I was, like 12 or whatever. So I only saw Order of Phoenix in the theater and Up. But
okay.
I at least got to experience it because, if you were a part of that, it was just an absolute sensation. Kind of like how Marvel is now. Every so often there's just like the franchise that kind of dominates. And I feel like for a while, Harry Potter was king.
Yeah, I mean, it was 8 films.
I also feel like Harry Potter is the reason why we have a Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they realized, we can continue on through many, many years, having this cinematic universe be built up, right? Like, think of the Batman films before that. They constantly were replacing Batman. They didn't care about, like having this kind of continuity. Yes. And they were even the ones that, they took the Deathly Hallows. They're like, this story is so important. We're going to break it up into 2 films. The Avengers did that. Fucking Twilight did that. By putting all of, like, really trying to do the books a service, they actually opened up, Hollywood's mind as to how to tackle all of these other franchises.
You're speaking very rose-colored glasses here, because I feel like a lot of these things you're very critical of, though, for other movies. So,
well, I'm not saying that I appreciate that Harry Potter did this, but I can see that it definitely opened the doors for that, So
I see. Okay.
But I mean, also Lord of the Rings came out the exact same year as Harry Potter's first film, so also Lord of the Rings maybe also helped with that.
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings also didn't split up any of the books, despite the fact that you could argue that they could have.
What they did?
No, The Hobbit did. The Hobbit did not need to be split up. Will always speak up against that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, they were really, really trying to,
that was a cash
make
grab.
the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, exactly.
That was just crash grabbing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the first Harry Potter film came out 20 years ago. The last Harry Potter film came out 10 years ago. And of course, HBO Max, having so much success with their Friends reunion episode, which we also covered on this podcast, decided that they wanted to cash in on one of their other Warner Brothers properties. And they decided to have a reunion for all the cast and important crew members of the Harry Potter franchise. So the Harry Potter reunion Return to Hogwarts is them going to like the studio. I think it's like the studio backlot back in over in London, where they have, you can take tours of the Harry Potter sets and stuff that they pretty much kept intact because what impressive sets. And they had the actors, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint at the forefront, interacting with all the different actors that they were in with all the different movies, and some of the filmmakers, particularly Chris Columbus, who handpicked the 3 of them in their roles. And it was just kind of like a stroll down memory lane from the first, film all up into the last couple of films. So overall thoughts, what did you guys think of this reunion?
Eddie, you're like an actual fan. So, because I feel like you and Eddie are actual fans of the franchise. Like I said, I'm fair weather. Like, I saw them, but I wasn't obsessed. So I'll let you guys go first, because you guys are like, I think the people who were actively seeking this out, the ones that were like salivating for this on New Year's Day. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
But I think you and Eddie might be more so in that room. I don't know. Did you guys see it on New Year's Day? Eddie, I don't think you did, right?
What is it? We saw it that weekend.
We saw it that weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
Nicole?
I saw it in the past couple of days.
Oh, you waited.
I waited.
I'm shocked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Eddie. So what were your thoughts as like a diehard fan?
I was excited about it. Definitely enjoyed it. Had my tearful moments on, just kind of like the interviews, kind of like their love for the story, and just the support and the affection that the cast and crew had with each other during this whole process. Hearing the stars' individual stories of like how they grew up, like growing up in this franchise.
Yeah.
And their friendship, and how did they support each other, as being star actors in something that blew up. Like this thing just blew up, and they became like instantly famous, and having to deal with the trials and challenges of that fame, and the tolls that came about that. But it was very tender. It was like very like sweet, and I don't know. It was like really appreciating the art of acting and the work that they did for these movies. So I very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed the intro, how they made it very cinematic, and just kind of like Emma Watson walking into the Great Hall.
Yeah, with the
it's
music.
just like it was just like they definitely had the rekindle the magic of those places and those things and those moments.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought when I was watching it was like, oh man, I want to go back and read the books, because I did this thing where I told myself that I wasn't going to watch the Harry Potter films for a while, so they wouldn't kind of get old for me.
Okay.
Because I used to watch them so much and stuff. And
wow. Okay.
I kind of wanted to like take some time away from it and then come back with it with, either a new perspective or just have it feel fresh. Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, what a bummer to not experience this for the first time again. But if I give myself enough time,
I know,
right?
I would always think that when I'll find out when I find out that someone's like reading the book for the first time,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, you're so lucky.
Seriously, like share everything with me.
It's like the magic and those moments of wonder that you're gonna experience. To get them back.
Yeah.
This is how I feel about this is how I wish to feel one day when Eddie watches Breaking Bad with me.
Oh wow, okay. There you go.
He will never watch it with me. He absolutely does not like crime stories. So
I honestly don't blame him on that one. And like I just remember, my favorite. Okay, well now you might want to guess this, because my favorite book is also my favorite film.
Okay, is it Half-Blood Prince?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
I feel like Eddie might know.
Oh, okay, Eddie, go ahead, guess.
No. It's not the I'm trying to think. Wait, let me get the list.
Well, all right. While you're thinking,
it's not the Order of the Phoenix, right?
No, that book, it's like so suspenseful and great, and like Umbridge is fantastic, but I wanted to smack Harry Potter across the face most of that book, because he's got Voldemort in him, so he's being a little bitch, but like that whole thing was just like, oh my god, Harry, shut up.
Yeah. What, Prisoner of Azkaban?
No.
All right, so tell us now.
Okay. So that's the thing. Like mine might be surprising, but it kind of isn't.
Chamber of Secrets?
My favorite is Goblet of Fire.
Oh, interesting. The Hunger Games one.
Kind of. Okay, so the reason why I love Goblet of Fire so much, well, one, it's the biggest book, but like she just goes in fucking deep with the Triwizard Tournament, and then, just everything from the beginning of that book and puberty. And puberty, right? So it's like, it's amazing how the book and the movie can be this fun coming of age, kids being kids and attending the Yule Ball and having crushes on one another. And then the ending happens and it just completely does a 360. And then all of a sudden the series changes.
Yeah.
And she does that all in this one book / film. And it's just so successfully done where you realize, oh my God, shit just got real, to quote Bad Boys 2. So I was watching this, and particularly with the parts with the Goblet of Fire, I was remembering what it was like to read the books for the first time, to read that particular book for the first time, and to see the film for the first time, and just how much joy it brought me. And I am definitely, biased to it because I enjoy the series. It's like, it's not for everyone, I get that, but it's very much my cup of tea.
Well, and that's interesting. That you said that, right? It's not for everyone, but I feel like Harry Potter does have like this broad. I'm not saying that nothing is universal, right?
Nothing
but like
is universal,
this series has such broad universal. Like, you're very hard pressed to find people who absolutely say it's like, I absolutely hate that, without necessarily just wanting to be a contrarian. You know what I mean? Like, I would never say that about Harry Potter. Like, I'm never gonna say it's like, oh, that's awful. That's, you know what I mean? It's anything. It's not. It's objectively, you can say it absolutely is what it is, which is absolutely populist. What's it called? Like, just I don't know. I was just saying, it's just like, it's so pleasing to everyone. Like, how can you just not?
Well, that's the thing.
Even acknowledge it. I feel like
I kind of remember, particularly when Harry Potter was at its height of popularity, that Harry Potter wasn't particularly cool for a while. I guess with older people, like, I guess for our age group it was, but like for older teenagers or young adults, some people didn't think of like Harry Potter was for wimps, kind of a thing.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because it was a book series.
But also, there's something about it, like, I think it's easy to hate on. Like, it's not easy for people to hate on Star Wars, because Star Wars is just like so cool, and Marvel's just like so cool, and
which Star Wars? I mean, when you talk about the original trilogy,
well,
there's a definite there. But when we're talking about the other ones and the prequels and the sequels,
I guess like the whole world
and pop culture always painted the people who liked Star Wars as like these like geeks, losers, ill. They were always the butt of the joke, the people who like Star Wars.
Well, yeah, nowadays I think Star Wars has become like, well, that's why there are all these new films. The Star Wars is cool, right? Star Wars has a land in Disney World, like Star Wars has so many spin-off shows and movies.
Star Wars has become pop culture for sure.
Yeah.
Like, but there was a time where like it was like frowned upon. I don't know if Harry Potter ever got that, maybe. Because I mean, I was working in retail when the last book came out, and I remember I had to work the midnight shift for the day the book came out, and it was absolute madness,
Oh yeah, no, it's like, I guess it's hard to describe because obviously there was a fair share of it was just absolutely crazy. But you get that many people loving something, you're going to get that many people who don't want to be one of those people and look down on them and just are not open to it. And I guess I've just met a lot of people in my life who were like, Harry Potter, that's fucking stupid. And I guess it's always been weird for me because Harry Potter, I guess it's more for like, at least when it came out, it started. Like, I aged with Harry Potter, and I was a child when it came out, and then I was a young adult when it ended. But when it first came out, it was for children, so it's like, why are you hating this thing for children? It's like, it's also like, if you actually read it or if you know what it's about, it has proponents of family and like especially accepting yourself family. And found family, and just kind of like seeing what you're capable of, and never stopping in the face of adversity, or like, good versus evil, just like all of these really, really good themes. So yeah, I guess, I don't know. For me, that's why it's like, I think it's not for everyone because, I don't know, some people just want action packed or they need it to be cooler, but there's like a heart at the base of Harry Potter.
Okay.
At least to me, it's interesting because cancel culture has really picked apart a lot of the flaws within Harry Potter, but for me, it still works overall. Even though I recognize some flaws that other people have pointed out, I still enjoy it. You should YouTube this poem that someone wrote about Cho Chang and about Asian representation.
Okay.
In Harry Potter. Have you seen that? You've seen it? I haven't,
but enough said. You just say Cho Chang because you're like, oh, you know what? Yep, I get it. I know where this conversation is easily going. It's
so she picks a lot apart. Yeah, she picks apart the fact that there's one black character, there's one Asian character, the way that they're portrayed, and then she really, really like tears J.K. Rowling to shreds for saying that Dumbledore was gay, even though him being gay was never central to the plot, and she just like kind of threw it in there. But it's like, what are you guys talking about? Dumbledore was gay. Obviously, couldn't you see that the whole time? And she calls that a cop out.
It is. I don't disagree
And
with that.
I don't disagree with that either. I'm like, okay, valid. Like,
But now
you
they're
didn't
trying to
give
make
me any sort of gay representation, and now you're just throwing that in there. Okay.
Is Jude Law playing gay in
I
Fantastic
don't know.
Beasts?
I saw the first Fantastic Beasts, and I didn't really care to move forward, so I wouldn't know.
Oh,
So
wow.
it
Meow.
is because when you know the story, the backstory of that, it's like the reason why he won't get involved so much and face the enemy in this because of their history with each other.
Yeah.
And it's him like I can help, but I can't do this.
Yeah,
so it does
because
give a hint of a possibility of that. I mean, but that's the whole idea, and people are waiting for it, and people are expecting it. That this is like, hey, about two guys, they broke up, and they broke up really bad, and really hard, and very messy because people died, and now he's come back, and you have to face him.
yeah.
God, isn't that the worst kind of ex? The one that like raised an army against you.
7 evil exes. Yeah. So I don't know, but that's just, I don't know. I kind of just went down the rabbit hole with that. Let's get back to the actual reunion, right? Which is more so about these actors and the part that Harry Potter kind of played in their life. And it was interesting because through that you got to also see how much Harry Potter means to the audience, even though it was really forefront their relationship with Harry Potter, right? We were kind of watching them go down memories lane and seeing, what it was like for them and all of the relationships that they built with one another.
Yeah, so I actually thought that was an interesting route for this production to go, because I thought it was going to be more like the Friends reunion, in which we get to see how, I mean, we got to see through archival footage like how the world was reacting, but it's not, that's different from how the world like holds this property at the moment. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of people who still love Harry Potter dearly, and this franchise means the world to them. Eddie is related to some of them. So Eddie is one of them. What am I talking about? So, but I found it interesting that this special really focused though on like the films and what it meant to not just these three actors, but predominantly these three actors. Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley, Emma Watson, who played Hermione Granger, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And obviously Daniel Radcliffe, who plays titular Harry Potter. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I wasn't crazy about that too much, because at least the Friends reunion, my favorite part of the Friends reunion was when we had all the fans from all over the world talking about like, oh my God, this show meant everything to me, and why. That was one of the most touching parts of the Friends special, and I wanted something like that from this reunion, right? Just something that says that it's like, it's not just about the movies and how grandiose it was to be behind the scenes, right? I just wanted something like that, right? Like maybe a perspective from like, I mean, Harry Potter has how many fan clubs? I can only imagine, right?
Yeah.
I think when we talked about this before, is that throughout the years, let's be realistic, throughout these 2 decades, there has been that. There has been always these interviews or some form of like documentary on like behind the scenes of this particular movie or the book that's coming out, and you do get the fans' reactions, and you've seen, I think in the last 20 years we have heard from the fans, and we have heard how their lives have been touched or changed or made richer by the beauty and magic of this story of the boy who lived.
All right.
But you see, but if you're,
it's
like, would you watch that?
Right.
You wouldn't watch that. I would watch that. And
Yes.
I have watched that.
You're right. So
I have watched that. But I think this is also great because I really wanted to know what they thought. I was really more interested in what they thought and their experience. And also like they spent a lot of time with each other.
Yeah.
And then it ended. and now they're coming back, and some of them haven't seen each other in years, and it's like and there were points, especially the moment with the Weasleys, when the kids, all the actors played the Weasley family and the father, and they were just like, you guys were like I always felt like we were family. We were the Weasleys. So
yeah. I agree with both of you. I see where you're coming from, Rolando, in the sense that we didn't hear from a person, and that person was the many, many different fans.
Right.
And how much, like, I guess we talked, the reunion showed how much the impact of being a worldwide phenomenon impacted them and shaped them. And the just the roles in the film, being on like a set and having each other. And in particular around Order of the Phoenix, Emma Watson was going to quit because the fame and all of that, it just got too much for her.
Yeah, did you know this at the time? I didn't know this.
I didn't know this. No, I'm sure it was kept very hush hush.
I don't. Maybe. I guess maybe
her co-stars didn't even know.
Oh, that's true.
There you go.
I mean, I was gonna say it's just like maybe the internet. It's so weird. Like even thinking like 15, however many years ago, right? The internet wasn't. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have like Twitter. We didn't have like you know what I mean, like Dumois on Instagram, right? That kind of thing that speeds that salacious news. Because if there was even a whiff that one of the Harry Potter castmates was even thinking about dropping, it would have been like on CNN. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I feel like.
Yeah. Maybe nowadays. I don't know. It's hard for me to think about what it was like back in 2007 when that movie
It is.
came
It's
out.
a hard thing to think about.
Yeah, I
Like,
just
do we even have
graduated
iPhones
high
yet?
school.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
I maybe got an iTouch or one of those iPods.
Mm-hmm.
Remember iTouches?
I do remember that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you hear the burden of celebrity and all of that, and going from just being a regular kid to having the entire world watch you, and you hear very much what it was like to make the film. But yeah, like I guess you didn't get the perspective of everyone who was watching it. There were even some times where I was watching the reunion where I'm like, oh, this is really lovely and seeing this, but I wasn't a part of this, if that makes sense. Like I'm not famous. I can't relate in some way, but it's interesting to see it. But it's also like, it was like this whole nice, look back on their life, but it wasn't anything that I was a part of, like, I guess if they had that balance of something that I took part in, like hearing from the fans and stuff and seeing myself reflected in it, then I wouldn't have had that thought where it was like, I'm just watching a bunch of people talk about something that I know nothing about.
Yeah, it's like
even though it's interesting to watch.
It's a piece of media that you consumed, and you're watching the people just gush about how
how lucky they were,
and like how great it was. But on some sense, I feel like it's like okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I did enjoy it. I think that was my one takeaway though, where I was just like, oh, I kind of think the Friends one did just that a little bit better. It didn't make me, because I know that you complained about on the Friends one that like the all the stories were like so inside baseball. Same thing here with this Harry Potter one, but this whole Harry Potter one was that way.
Yeah, it was. Well, also I felt like the Friends one, after a while, they're like, so what else are we gonna do? They had to like bring out the cast to do the fashion show and the random shit that they had to do.
Which I like. I mean, why did they do that? They should have done a Harry Potter fashion show. Maybe you know what it is though. This one really focused. I don't know. This reunion made this franchise seem so large, so like larger than life. It made it seem like almost like such a relic. It's mind you, it's not even 20 years old. I think it's the first movie is 20 years old. The franchise itself is still under 2 decades. But it was treating this series with such reverence that I thought, while watching it, not undeserved, premature.
Oh.
That's so interesting.
I don't.
I mean, there's a whole theme park. There's multiple theme parks now. There's a long-running Broadway show. There's spin-offs, books and movies. I mean, there's a store in Times Square and in London's King Station.
I know, but
King
these are
Cross.
all symptoms of the consumerism age
Right,
that
but
we're in.
it's so ubiquitous, right? It doesn't matter how old it is. It matters, how much the whole fucking world kind of like loves it. Like at the end of the day, Harry Potter is ubiquitous and Harry Potter's got a huge fan base. So people want this shit, like they still
yeah,
dress up in their robes and get sorted into their houses and, wear their colors proudly. And like when I went to go see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I can't tell you how many people were in costume.
Yeah.
And it's such a
really on
yeah,
Broadway?
really, yeah, and people younger than me who obviously were not. Who I even thought, were you even alive when the original films came out? But this is great to see. Your parents or whoever is passing it down to you,
Right?
Because I'm a fan of the franchise. And it's just like not many other like Star Trek has that, Star Wars has that. Not too many other franchises have that. So it's like it's one of the ones that just I don't know. There's just something about. It was something that they said in the reunion show where it was like people watched it who felt like outsiders and felt like they belonged while watching other people who were outsiders. Like it's this unique relationship that you have with Harry Potter too. Because, Harry Potter's not even supposed to be fucking alive. And he doesn't even know who he is. And then he finds out that not only is he a wizard, but he's the fucking boy who lived, faced fucking death in the face and survived. And, just like enters this whole new world and realizes all the things that he didn't even know he was capable of. I mean, who doesn't fucking love that?
I mean, hero's journey. I'm not trying to downplay this franchise. I'm trying to downplay its place in media history, right? Because I just think it's true. I just thought it's just like, I don't know. I feel like maybe we're just moving as a society too quick to get these reunion specials.
No, I mean, yeah. And in that case, I would agree with you. And, also feel free to call me out on my fanboyish tendencies this episode. But I also do think that for something that's successful, I guess, time is irrelevant. I mean, it's also like you might as well, what is that term? You might as well like strike while the money's hot or the pot is hot or something.
Yeah,
like Harry Potter's still hot. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Well, yeah, so that's the other thing, right? Like, okay. All right, other qualm I had here, where was Maggie Smith? I know that's COVID, so like I'm assuming we were protecting her health because I don't know how old she is, but she has to be one of those people that like is under strict lockdown at this point.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hear from Maggie
87
Smith.
years old.
She's 87 years old. God bless her. We couldn't do a Zoom interview with her.
Good point.
I think honestly they were going with such a cinematic look for everything that like obviously that would not have done.
Yeah. There were a lot of people that chose not to come back though,
Yeah, Robert Pattinson is another one that sticks out for me because I thought Warner Brothers owned him now that he's the Batman. He couldn't do the Harry Potter. I'm surprised that like they didn't put a gun to his head and be like, you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna go. Period. Like this is no ultimatum.
Well, there's also another major absence from the reunion.
Oh, who?
J.K. Rowling herself.
Oh yeah, no. That she was in the reunion, but like all her footage, there was a little a note that said it's just like this was filmed in 2019.
Yeah.
You
I know. How ridiculous was that? That it was like, guys, don't come for us. This was filmed in 2019.
Yeah, okay. So let's get into that. So J.K. Rowling, she was not she really became the Voldemort of this. She is the one that we do not speak of. I think in total they said her name like a dozen times. Right? Like I don't
only certain actors actually talked about her. The rest were just like the story.
Right, exactly. Like I kid you not. Like I think a dozen times is how much her name came up. Do we know the history as to why this is?
No, can you tell us why?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So it was in June 2020, Rowling retweeted an op-ed that discussed people who menstruate, right, in quotations, and she just did not like that, right? She tweeted, "People who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumbin, Wimpund, Wumud, what? These must be Harry Potter words. Opinion, creating a more equal post-COVID-19 world for people who menstruate." So, all right, here she kind of stepped on it, right? Because this article was trying to be PC in the fact that, like, not all people who identify as female menstruate, right? So it was just the way they decided to tackle this headline. She got called out for it, and instead of, like, just issuing an apology saying, "Oh, you know what? I didn't see it that way. I'm so sorry." No, what does she do? She doubles down and she just goes, "If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people." This is me editorializing here, but like, all right, come on. Like, when you say that, it's just like, okay, but do you? It sounds like when the white people are just like, "I have black friends." Does it not to you when she said that? I'm just pointing it out. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth, right? So she doubled down, and I think the problem here is that maybe she's confusing sex with gender identity. That really seems to be the issue here.
Yeah.
But she's just not having it. She just doesn't want to hear that she's wrong. The idea, and then she goes on, the idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived in... I can't even read this. I'm just sorry. She's just going on. She goes on a tirade. I'm going to actually link this Glamour article in the show notes that goes over her history here with, her... She has had a history with trans problems. I think the other one that came up is in one of her mystery novels that she wrote under a different name. The villain was a cross-dresser. I think you talked to me about this one too, Nicole, right?
No.
Oh, was it you?
I've never read any of her Harry Potter books.
Yeah. The bad guy is a cross-dresser, a murdering cross-dresser out, right? So it's just, anyway, the point is she is not rubbing trans people and trans allies in a very positive way. And actually the entire cast of Harry Potter had to kind of get in it, and they kind of were the ones who stepped up being like, her views do not reflect ours, and we stand with the trans community. I feel like that was Warner Brothers saying, is like, again, holding that gun to people's head, being like, if you don't fucking say something, you will not get royalties.
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. So at least that's her history with trans, anti-trans sentiments. And she became the butt of a joke. I mean, it's crazy. And it's mind-boggling that, like, how Twitter has been so vicious to her, because, like, she didn't need to do this. Like I said, she could have just given an apology and just hide away with her billions of dollars. She didn't have to double down and just try to say, it's just like, no, sex is real. Like, women are women, biologically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just makes me even more glad that I just don't have a Twitter. It just seems like the most toxic place on this planet.
So I think usually our culture forgets really quickly, usually, right? As a whole, we have the attention span of a goldfish. All right. Her problem was that she doubled down and she just did not back down. And because she didn't back down and it went on for more than a week, that's like a lifetime when it comes to like media news. Warner Brothers had to get involved and release a statement saying, we do not stand for her beliefs. Like, that she is separate from us. And the cast had to get involved. You know what I mean? So it's because she held on to her beliefs, and whatever, they're her beliefs. Us as the consumers, we have to decide what we're going to do with it. I streamed this production knowing the stuff that knowing her stance on trans issues here, or at least her beliefs here in this her beliefs on like what sex is. I wasn't streaming it to give her another penny that she doesn't need. I was streaming it because I kind of wanted to see like why did HBO Max spend millions on this? Like, what were they trying to get out of it, right? That's what I wanted to see. And honestly, part of it was I wanted to see, like, how are they handling this quagmire that is J.K. Rowling. And
they ignored it.
And yeah, so that's how they handled it, right? They kind of just skirted around.
Not skirt around. This is like, why address it in this thing?
Because she's a creator.
I know, but at the same time too, it's beyond her now. This is our magic. This is our wonder.
But despite the fact that she makes money from it.
But that's everything, honey. Everything out there that's made is to make money. Okay, all the Batmans you love, all the movies that we watch, people make them not for just sheer enjoyment, but for the millions that they're gonna make.
I can give you one great instance of people who make art for the sake of making art, not to make any money, and that is me, Nicole, and you. Because Lord knows we had not made a penny from this podcast. No, I don't disagree with you guys. I understand. Yes, we live in a capitalist society. Like everything that is made to be consumed is to make money.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are people out there who make more money than her who do worse things that people don't even fucking know about that we just give our fucking money to. I can fucking guarantee that almost.
I mean, yeah, gasoline.
Yeah, well, there's some fucking sick people out there abusing their powers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because to me, it's like, well, this doesn't, at this point, Harry Potter has meant so much and has done so much positive stuff for other people that it's easy for me to separate her from it, right? But that's not the case for everybody. So at one point, do you have to say to yourself, okay, well, what's what matters most, I guess? And that's just a question for a lot of people to chime in, like if it's people feel insulted enough that we can't give her the platform and her work this platform, then, it's like, well, we have no fucking right to tell them that they're wrong, but are we able to say, well, Harry Potter has surpassed now her and has its own legacy of its own because we've taken it and means so much to us, and that's the thing, like that's, I think, going to become a question and a conversation that we have more and more because of the environment and the culture that we live in. And we can't just enjoy things for, now we always have to think about who did it and who's responsible for it and who they've offended. And I guess that's just, that's what happens when we all kind of realize that when we wake up to some dirty facts about people. But I don't know. It's just such an interesting time to live in, I guess.
It is, but I mean, this is what I actually love. If you guys haven't seen it, The Good Place, but this is the issue they wrestled with in the final season, right? Like, why are so many people going to hell? And it turns out the reason is because, like, we live in a very complicated world where you may have the best of intentions, like buying an apple, but if this apple is part of the reason that like a family is going broke in, I don't know,
or supporting child labor.
Oh, thank you. There,
that's
like yeah, right. Like this apple is now a source of evil, right? And like, how do all our actions have effects, like a butterfly effect, right? So, yeah, where do we stand? I guess with J.K. Rowling personally, with me, it's just like, all right, well, she's not making a penny off of me, but I still want to consume her media. So what does that mean? And why do I want to consume her media, right? I want to consume it because I'm a follower, right? Like everyone's going to go see Fantastic Beasts, and I'll be like, all right, well, I guess I'll see you too. See what the hype is about. I don't know. Everyone wants to go to the Harry Potter world. I actually want to go to that theme park. I don't know how much money she's going to make off of it, but I don't know. That's my dollar that I'm spending. I don't know. It is a complicated issue. I don't know. I obviously do not support what her issues, like her stance, right? But outside of that, like, there's not much I can do. But Eddie, do you really feel that because you said this, right? It's just like it's ours now. Is that what you really feel? Like Harry Potter is ours, like the fans?
Well, that's the thing with story, after a while, it becomes part of our narrative. It becomes the things that we love, the things that we treasure, just become part of our own story, and what these books and what these movies meant to us and what they inspired in us. And I don't think you should let anyone take that away from you.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted the special just to be focused on these people getting together and be like, oh my God, I miss you. Oh my God, remember that time, how crazy it was. And do you know that I always loved you? And she says, I always loved you too. But we'll never be together, but we're soulmates,
That was
Emma Watson
and Draco?
Draco Malfoy. Yeah, the actor.
Okay, yeah. So let's get into some of the Scandies that came out of this.
There was no Scandies.
The Scandi being
no Scandies.
That like Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger were like madly in love with each other behind the scenes. Thoughts?
That's cool. I don't know. I don't really care about any of that. I actually thought that the funniest thing was Daniel Radcliffe hitting on Helena Bonham Carter when he was 15.
Oh, I thought that was cute.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah.
I want to say this. I don't understand the appeal. I don't.
Oh, I understand the appeal.
You do?
I mean, she's so unique, and she seems like she has such a wonderful energy to her. She was just laughing so much, and like she was the only one that was like, "Let's go running and fool around." You know, she seems fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
fun,
I could see
for
the
sure.
appeal.
All right.
But yeah, she's.
I was.
I
Curious.
I like my art kids and my weirdos. You know, I'm more attracted to
Hey,
that. So
you know,
yeah.
that's fine. The other thing that Eddie noticed that when we were watching this is when Rupert Grint says to Emma Watson, "I love you," but she didn't say it back. I don't know if you missed that. That was kind of awkward.
Oh, but didn't he also then say as a friend, and then they laughed and they're like, just to
Yeah,
be
he said
clear.
that after like giving like a good solid 2 beats for her to respond, and she did it. He's like, as a friend, and it's just like it seems so awkward. They kept
Oh
it in.
really?
I'm so happy. Yeah.
Interesting.
We replayed it a couple of times. It was so funny.
Oh.
Another fun fact here from this Harry Potter special, the editors here messed up twice. One instance, there is, as they're showing B-roll of young Emma Watson, they accidentally use a photo of Emma Roberts.
Are you serious?
Yes, it was all over the news, and I think they have since fixed it. But another instance was the twins, the Granger twins,
Mm-hmm.
the Weasley twins. Yeah,
Granger.
In the lower thirds, they fucked up their names, the order that they're in.
Oh my gosh!
How funny is that?
Well, since I watched it recently, I didn't get to see any of those.
Maybe
errors,
not.
so
Yeah,
fixed
but that
it, yeah.
I found those funny. The other thing that Eddie told me about, and I'm gonna again post this in the show notes, is apparently there's a conspiracy theory out there that Rupert Grint was not actually present on the set of the London set of the reunion. He was instead CGI'd in.
Why? Why is that a theory? Like, what's the evidence?
So
No, I had just read. And once again, it could be a true, not true. But that he was in Canada. He's filming a movie.
he's filming. Yeah, I think
So
it's a series for Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, so he couldn't leave, but Emma Watson flew over, so they could have their and film their interview together.
So yeah, so the way the show notes will explain it, but like the Cosmo UK has been all over this, and there is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence is that in some of the close-up shots of Emma Watson when she's with Rupert Grint, even though she's wearing the same outfit, she has different nail polish, and it's just like interesting. So
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Okay.
Someone get QAnon on this because we need to know.
That's interesting. Yeah, because there was like a Emma and Rupert thing, and then there was the three of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why is there a separate thing with? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, I mean, the other big question that everyone has from this reunion special is like, how much did the cast make from this? Because I don't know. The allegedly the cast of the Friends each
Mhm.
made about $3 million for that reunion special, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, could you believe? I mean, just to get together and just reminisce. So I have to imagine that this Harry Potter cast got like something close to that easily, right?
I would say. I mean, if the Friends people got 3 million, the Harry Potter people definitely got that. Maybe more.
Maybe more. I won't disagree with you. I think maybe
Yeah.
more because, you know, streaming wars, you know? And we know
Yeah.
Warner Brothers apparently has money to burn because they're trying to compete with Disney,
Probably. Yeah.
you know? So
I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know why I really could give a shit. But it's interesting because it was just nice to see their relationship with that first filmmaker, Chris Columbus, and how he was kind of like a dad to them, and how they even got emotional and how comfortable he made them. That was nice to see. You know, because you're hearing more and more about abusive children, so it's nice to know that they weren't abused and that they actually had the right person looking out for them in Hollywood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
what we're being told, right?
God,
Like I'm just
Oh, because you think that people are lying about
no,
abuse
I
against
know,
children, yeah.
I mean, this cast seems like pretty all level-headed and like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were treated well. I mean, they were Warner Brothers cash cow. Like they treat them like royalty.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
sure. I wanted to see more what I kind of wish they would have admitted or like told us the truth is that the kid who was in How to Get Away with Murder,
No.
Eddie. I don't want to define him only by his skin color, but he's like the only
Oh, Dean
dark
Thomas.
skinned guy.
Yeah, the guy who played
Dean
Dean
Thomas.
Thomas.
Dean
Yeah.
Thomas. Okay, so Dean Thomas, apparently his character and this other kid were in a relationship throughout the whole series, like behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but like literally behind the main story, right? Like, so there's clips of them dancing together. Anytime they were like coupling, they were like together and stuff. But like we
Who?
never saw it. Like they were the couple.
We're talking about the actor
No,
Okay.
no. I'm talking about the characters.
that a character was dating in the background of Harry Potter.
Yeah, so in the Harry Potter one, it's apparently Dean and Seamus who are a gay couple like throughout the entire Harry Potter series. We don't necessarily see them, but like they're there, and I don't know. There were like all these clips that like I remember all these like pictures that came up of the two of them, like stills from the movie, like almost being like a couple in the background, like growing up from like kids to like I don't know, a gay couple in the background. Because isn't that how all gay couples are relegated to in media, just like background?
Oh,
You know?
I never got that Dean Thomas and Seamus were gay.
Yeah, I know they're best friends.
They're best friends, but we never got
I
that
don't
they were
know.
gay.
According to the fandom, they are.
Okay.
Fanon? It's Fanon.
All right, so that means that just people imagine that was. that
Yeah.
ship them.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! J.K.
Well-
Rowling confirms these characters are gay.
Ugh, no, I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
just I never got that. So
All right,
I
I'm
guess,
losing the
whatever.
magic.
Yeah.
All right. Oh wait, no,
We're
I'm sorry.
really
That's
forcing
clickbait.
things.
That was about Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Sorry, guys.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. I guess what I'm complaining about is like not enough gay representation here in Harry Potter.
I don't know, the interrelation. It was even weird for me that the books ended with like Hermione and Ron getting together and having children, and Harry and Ginny getting together and having children. I was like, I don't know. I didn't really need it to end that way, And even like seeing the actors being like, this is weird. We feel like brother and sister. I was like, yeah, aren't they like all brother and sister? But teenage hormones are real, and the
Yeah.
world is really small.
I don't
so.
know if that translates into like lifelong relationships, but okay.
Yeah.
Did you did you want Harry to be with Hermione?
Again, I don't know if I was rooting for either. I guess, me being a young lesbian, I wanted her to be gay.
Okay.
That's more so like maybe I was rooting for her and Luna, who I
could-
love.
I could see that as an actual couple though.
That'd be cool.
like,
I
that
mean,
one
well,
actually worked,
that's
right?
opposites attract right there.
Yeah, because she's like book smart, right? And then the other one's like kind of kooky and stuff like that. There's like Dharma and Greg, but lesbians.
yeah, well, she goes more. Luna's more like spiritually wise and like more in tune with the earth. Like she doesn't need a book; she needs to just listen to the earth. And I love that about Luna. That's why she's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. You know
but yeah.
what?
So anyway,
That's new Fanon canon in my head.
so did you think this was needed?
I think I thought it was Eddie. All right, Eddie says yes. I think it was just a little too early for it. I think wait another 10 years. But I guess
What? Come on.
I guess some of the cast that is older though, like
they'd
when
be dead.
that's the thing. Like how sad was it when the guy who played
Hagrid.
right? First of all, I can't believe that's what he's looking like now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that was
it's-
kind of
that
heartbreaking.
happens. Yeah,
I know.
people get older.
We get older. But when he
Mhm.
said it's just like, oh, in another 50 years I won't be here. But
But
like
Hagrid
the
will.
movie, yeah, the Hagrid
Yeah.
will. And I think I told Eddie, it's like he thinks that his version of Hagrid is gonna be the one that's gonna be still remembered in 50 years. Hollywood would have remade it twice by then.
Yeah, this is true. I was like, yeah, I'm okay with this one because we're gonna get another reunion special in 10 years. So I'll just,
Oh, I was
I could
talking like they're
compare
gonna
them.
redo the entire franchise. I guarantee you in probably like 25
They-
years.
they definitely will.
I mean,
They
there's talks
definitely
about
will.
sequels. No.
See,
They're thinking about Cursed Child of making that into a movie because they're almost going to be the age for that. So
wow,
yeah,
that's gonna be weird seeing Harry Potter with a kid.
I know, right? Yeah. Well,
Like,
it would be
seeing-
really cool though if like
Well,
they played the
the
roles.
actor
Yeah,
that
seeing-
plays Ron just had a kid.
Yeah, that's also true. It is so weird to know that they're like adults functioning in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
What about? All right. So Eddie, you said it was needed. I think it was a little premature, but sure, it was fine. Nicole.
These things are never like needed, but did I enjoy it? Yes.
Oh, you actually didn't think it was needed.
Well, like I said, nothing is
yeah.
technically ever needed. But
I mean, nothing's ever needed, but like we can't have a podcast predicated on.
But did we want things? Yeah. Yeah, I wanted it.
You did want it. All right, good. That actually makes me happy to hear because like I think it's okay for us to want like mindless crap sometimes, and
But why is it mindless crap?
It's not.
I don't understand.
I'm not saying that. Like,
I don't.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
that
get mindless shit
pejoratively,
from
like,
it.
It's just like sometimes you just want something. When you watch this, you're not watching. I'm just watching it. It's just like okay, I'm going.
Yeah, but because you don't connect to it.
Don't connect.
You don't.
I feel very attacked right now.
You don't connect to it. So, but when those who do connect, those who do feel like a connection, it's like wow. And think about I remember the first time I read my very first Harry Potter book.
But and
I remember buying my last Harry Potter book.
I remember
exactly where I was.
My last Harry Potter book.
And I remember how ridiculous I was trying to get this book because I thought if I waited 1 second more, it would be sold out all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was my thinking. If I don't get this book right now, I'm never going to get this book. That was my thinking at that moment. Never have I ever been crazy about reading or getting a book than I was getting the last Harry Potter.
All right, fine. I do apologize for making it sound so pejorative. It's just like it's not mindless crap. It's like but it's sometimes you just want to. It's entertainment.
But that's what we're all about, right? Everything we talk about is about entertainment.
Yeah, and it's not like you can't get things from things that are labeled as entertainment. You can get a lot from it.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Okay. You know what? What did you guys think? Did you guys see the Harry Potter special? Did you love it? Did you want more of it? Do you think Warner Brothers is setting us up, like testing the waters to see, hey, maybe we will give people a sequel? Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook. Our Facebook is facebook.com/remakes, reboots, revivals. You can also find us on Instagram where we're very, very active. Our handle is Remakes, Reboots, Revivals. Send us an email because we love hearing from you and we love getting your emails. It is actually quite a joy when we get them. So email us. Our email is remakesrebootsrevivals@gmail.com. And we also have a hotline that you can reach out and leave your voicemail. 862-248-2326. That's 862-248-2326. I actually have it memorized at this point. Actually, check out our Instagram page for sure. We're trying to be very, very much more active. I just had a reaction video of the Fresh Prince. It's not even called Fresh Prince anymore. It's just called Bel Air. Mm-hmm. It's a drama version of Fresh Prince, and that's it. Just check us out, guys.
Yes, please do. And until next week, stay unoriginal
and magical.
Nice.